Maybe this is gonna look dumb as hell. Too dark. We'll see. It is, it's a swim day today. So we are driving to the pool. We are doing 6 a.m. Masters swim. And last night I was finishing up Ironman World Champs YouTube prep series. World Champs was 31 days ago. It's October 15th today. World Champs was September 14th. And that was the first prep series that I've ever done on YouTube. We got a little cold brew here, getting us a little amped up for the swim. And punching through on the YouTube series for the World Champs prep, I thought that the video was gonna be ready, but I was gonna get it live this morning, but it just needs one final little massaging. And we got a little speed trap here on my street that we gotta chill through. And I'm trying out some new video styles for this next, I don't even know that it would be described as a prep series, because we are just kind of back to everyday training. Like, we're just back to just doing the thing. And one of my goals here is to document that a little bit better, bring you into the process a little bit more. And, you know, I thought, what better way than bringing you along for 6 a.m. swim, sharing some of the mindset for what we're thinking on heading to swim. Now today, pretty much main thing I'm focused on is that I'm pumped to get this thing done. I am pumped to get this done. I don't want to say that swimming is like such a grind for me, but between swim, bike, run, it's definitely my least favorite to do. It's definitely the one that I gotta kind of amp myself up for, set some floor goals to stay committed to. And it's definitely the one, I'll tell you, it's the one that if I leave it to be done in the afternoon, it's the one that hangs over my head way more than anything else. And so I'm pretty much just thinking about, yeah, I'm excited to just swim and be done with the swim. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Am I gonna get a great workout in? You bet. Am I gonna feel freaking good? Am I gonna get into it once I get going? Yeah, for sure. But even just going to the swim, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going today because I got goals that require me to swim. I'm a year-round swimmer, year-round swim, bike, run. I really see a lot of guys end up taking a quarter of the year, 6 months, 3/4 of the year off swimming. And hey, everybody's got kind of their own jam on how they make endurance training fit into their life. But for me, I'm a swim all year kind of guy. I'm a swim all year kind of guy. And I have found that not only does that help me physically kind of get the compounding effect of not having any gaps in my training process, but I have also found that it is valuable for me to have something in my training that's kind of a low pressure, little bit of a mental grind. I have found that my mind is always going to look for something to kind of bitch about a little bit. And if I don't have swim in my plan, if I'm like only running, or if I'm even only biking and running, well then the things that I like to do the most, the mind will still it will still look for that opportunity to bitch and to tap out and to quit a little bit earlier than I want to. And battling that in my primary sports, well, that's just not really what I'm into. And so that's kind of the mode on swim. In the Ironman prep, if you watched that series, you saw I actually got pretty stoked on swimming. I was swimming 3 times a week. The higher touch really helped me get into it. I was swimming longer, no problem. But we're kind of back to 2 swims a week, 5,000 yards. Those are my floor goals on swimming. So if you don't have any floor goals, I'll give you a little hack. I have found that instead of setting goals across all areas of life of things that like I want to strive to do more of and to achieve and to reach for, what I have found is more effective is actually raising the floor. And so this would be a lower the bar, raise the execution approach. And so at some point at the end of last year when I looked at my annual swim training, I saw like, oh, there were a lot of weeks that I either didn't swim because of travel or had random life stuff going on. And instead of me trying to become a 20,000 yard a week swimmer, like some triathletes do, if I actually just have every week have a minimum, a floor of 2 swims a week, hitting 5,000 yards, that would actually be a bump up. That would actually be a bump up for me. And so that is my lower the bar, raise the execution. And that is really what I had done for my swimming. I think I started that maybe December of last year. So we're almost coming up on a year. Hasn't been totally perfect, but has gotten me to the pool in a few instances where I would have bailed on the second swim of the week, or I would have gotten no swims in for the week. And this week, we actually got Tribal Team Ironman. So on Friday, I fly to California and I'm coaching. We got a couple athletes doing Ironman California, and so I'm heading out there to coach, which means that we got travel. Today's Wednesday. Really didn't want to go do this swim, but you know what I would rather not do more? Figure out getting 2 freaking swims in somehow later this afternoon than through the end of the week when I'm traveling. And so last night I was up until I had a late night last night. I was up till almost 12:30, a little after 12:30 actually last night, editing this final YouTube Ironman World Champs prep video. It's a race day video, pretty fun. I'm mostly on top of myself on going to bed at like 9:30. 9:30, 10 has kind of been my number lately. Should be a little bit before 9:30, but 9:30. But every now and then I have like these kind of creative nights where I just go all in on punching through on either like a writing or creative or business building type of project. And sometimes you gotta sacrifice a little sleep. So I'm only running on maybe 5 hours of sleep. Could definitely have stayed in bed, but again, I'm looking to get this thing done. I'm looking to get this swim done. I think sometimes people rely a little bit too much on like, there's like a misconception that they should be super excited for the contents of every workout. And believe me, I'm sure I'm gonna get into this and get a little amped up and get cooking and get to pushing myself. We kind of always do that, right? But on the way here, the mindset is I'm excited to be freaking done with today's swim. And that is okay. So we just got to Centennial Pool in Longmont, Colorado. I'm a couple minutes late already. We got master swim at 6 a.m. I will see you on the other side. Boom. Swim complete. And in a large sense, we have already won the day. Swim this morning, we got into some good IM. We had like 6 75s of fly, back, breast. Some of the breast I turned into free because I just don't have the skill to get through the water and keep up with my lane. But part of the value, why do I like Masters Swim? Well, in a sense, I mean, I have no idea what we're doing when I show up. But all I know is I'm about to knock this swim out and about to get a good workout. It's almost like if, little leftover cold brew, solid. It's almost like if you were gonna lift chest with your buddy and you show up to the gym and you don't really know what you're gonna get into. Maybe he's got the workout mapped out, but all you know is that you're gonna blast freaking chest. That's kind of like Master Swim. I like it a lot because it gets me it gets me doing things that I would not do otherwise. I would not be doing that much IM, but I really like IM. I kind of suck at it, but I like it. It gives me a full body pump. And, you know, a lot of people would say like, oh, well, you know, you only have to freestyle swim in triathlons. Like, why would you ever care about butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke? And, you know, the way that I think about it is like, doing that stuff is just making me a better swimmer overall. When we get back into like a freestyle set after doing all that IM, like my body is fatigued, so I got a chance to do a little bit of like fatigue resistance training on my freestyle form. And I also just like the way that it makes me feel. It gets my back engaged a little bit more. And yeah, man, pretty much just pumps me up. I right now in my swim stroke, especially in that swim, you know, even though I'm there to do their workout, I am always kind of thinking about like, what am I developing in my own stroke though? Like, what do I need to be working on? Like, I'm not just blindly struggling through whatever the workout is. And so for me right now, I am really thinking about a clean catch up on the front end, not having this big gap like this where there's really nothing either gliding me forward in the water out front or pulling water forward. That was one of the traps that I had seen when I got some swim footage review a little while back, is that when I start to fatigue, I start to like pull this arm back, my left arm back before my right arm is up in the water, and then all of a sudden there's nothing out front moving me forward. And so as I'm in those sets right there, that's just what I'm thinking about. Now, there's also some solid leadership skills that can come to life in Masters Swim. You know, the way that it works is that we show up and, you know, the coach on deck was Becky today. Becky's helped me out with some good backstroke form improvement, give me a couple of good tips. And even though we show up and like the workout is printed out on a kickboard and it's just laying there, like someone in the lane has to lead the workout. And very often I will jump in and lead it. And I led for probably half the workout. Sometimes if it's like a bunch of IM sets, I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be the fastest one here. You guys are better swimmers than me. A lot of people at this swim, this Masters Swim, there's not a lot of triathletes. I would say like the middle age average is probably like 40, but majority of these people, like they're just swimmers. Like they might have swam when they were younger and they just know how to move through the water. So a lot of them are better swimmers overall than me. But when it's like a workout context, like, you know, I'm still a solid swimmer and obviously I'm super fit. So like I can, you know, lead the workout well. But a lot of times you'll sort of sense, like I sense in the lane, like as we're getting through some hard sets, like people kind of start to, there's like a human nature element where like they start to kind of moan and groan a little bit. And there's always confusion on like, what is the set? What are we doing? What's the rest interval? And so there's really cool like leadership opportunity to be like really clear communication on like, this is the set, this is what we're doing, this is the rest interval, let's go. And also like huge opportunity to encourage people through the set. Like in that 6x75, it's like, hey, we get 3 in. I'm like, all right, let's go. We're halfway done. We got this. We get through the 4th. I'm like, all right, just 2 more. Here we go. We had another finishing set that was like 4x50s with the final half length of the 50, the final like 12.5 yards fast. And then after those 450s, it was it was 2x50 fast. So it was 6 total 50s. And as we're getting through those, like we've just done these IM sets, like everybody's working hard. And so to be able to like be like, hey, it's freaking, I'm not just here to like, you know, follow along. Like in some sense, like I'm definitely down to accept my rank when, you know, there's people that are faster than me, or if someone else is taking the lead, I'm okay with that too, of course. But you know, there's a lot of value in here of being exposed to different things that I wouldn't be doing otherwise, and also to get a little bit of leadership reps. Like, hey man, let's go. We're here to freaking, I'm showing up with this one thing in mind, right? I'm attacking this swim and I'm getting this thing out of the way. I'm looking forward to be done, and I'm just here to get a good workout in. And swimming, since it's so freaking easy on the body, I think it's totally cool to have that be your style of swim training rather than, you know, a specific swim program. Now, if you're just swimming solo, you know, there is opportunity or value in like, hey, you know, you got a program, you're following that workout to a T, and that workout, there's some level of progression of development on different things that you're working on with the drills. Maybe you're doing catch-up drill for a little while. Maybe you're doing thumb to thigh drill for a little while. That's how I like to program it out for guys. But when guys have access to Master Swim, I'm like, dude, have at it. Like, follow the lead of what the coach on deck has for you and go get exposed to something new, right? Go do a lot of things in the swim set that you're probably not gonna do otherwise. Now, that swim ended up being, I still got it on my watch, I have to officially save. It's finished. It's finished and saved, but I have to back out of it. 2,400 yards. In a typical sense, I would stay a few more extra minutes and I would go hit 3,000, because we're talking about those floor goals, 5,000 yards a week, 2 swims. I like to feel like I'm playing with a lead. So if I'm looking to hit 5,000 yards, if I get 3,000 in the first swim, well, all I gotta do is get 2,000 in the second swim, which makes it a little bit easier to manage mentally on like scheduling. Like if I just got a quick window of time and I gotta sneak in 2,000 yards. But more likely than not, I'll have a chance to swim later in the week and I'll go get, you know, maybe it's still 24 or 2,700 yards, or maybe I go hit 3,000 again. And so that 5,000 floor goal has teed me up to like feel like it's reachable, lower the bar, raise the execution, but it's also then set me up to do even more. Now, this morning, my wife Chelsea is going on a walk with a neighbor friend, lady who's pregnant, and so I gotta be home a little quicker, so I bailed right there as soon as the workout ended. But that's what we got. I mean, that's just a day in the swim life. Other secret value is that there is a strong chance that I will do another workout today. Will that be a run? Will that be a bike? I'll have to think about it a little bit because I got some travel coming up. I'm kind of saving the fact that I can run out in California. I would probably run today, but I'm not gonna have my bike on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and then I'm flying home on Monday. So today might be a bike day, but depending on the schedule, 45-minute run might be a little bit easier to get in than a 90-minute ride. So that's what we got. We are home. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the process.